The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold, and I hope you're all having a good Wednesday so far. Mine, a little bummed out over the Wild game last night. Oh, that Colorado team is just very, very good. I don't know. It's not looking good. We need to win both games at home. Is it this weekend? I think they play Friday, Sunday, or Saturday, Monday, or something. Yeah, it kind of sucks when you're playing like the best offensive team in the world, essentially, and you're missing your best defending centerman, Eriksson Ek, and probably your best defender. Brock Faber's good, but Jonas Brodin, it's tough. Very tough. But I know some people don't care about hockey or sports, so whatever. But that's what's just on my mind today. And other than that, what it means to endorse winning candidates in fraudulent elections. I think we should talk about that a little bit because, last night, the big Indiana and Ohio and a couple other places with primaries, whatever, might have just been those two. I don't even remember. I wasn't really paying attention. But I saw all these endorsements coming out and people posting about all the wins. And it's just funny to me, Trump will go back and forth between shit talking our elections and talking about how fraudulent and fake, and I guess he doesn't use the word fake, but rigged. And then also taking credit for the endorsements winning. And so I think that's something we should discuss a little bit. Spetzel, do you and Ash have a bet? Going into the series, had she wanted to do a bet, I would have done one. I would have bet quite a bit. But no, we did not do that. I did see somebody post something that we should do like a stream where me, Ash, and Caleb watch the game. We wouldn't be able to show it on the screen while we watch, but like to hang out and talk while the game is going on. I don't know if you guys are ready for that. That might be fun. Freedom Fighter, goaltending was a difference. John, Wild outplayed them. I will say, yeah, the Wild had more shots. Our goaltending was not good. A couple of those saves, I think our other goalie, Wallstead, would have probably stopped those. I don't know. I think he's the better goalie. I bet he's back in net at home. We'll see. But it really comes down to defense. Like the defenses, they're all right. Like the Wild defensively is normally pretty solid. A couple of the chances they give up were just uncharacteristic. The power play too. They are anemic on the power play right now. They suck. And I think Middleton, number 5, for those who watch hockey, he is such a liability right now. In the first game, he was responsible for like 3 goals or something just off of turnovers. And then yesterday in their first power play, he's like playing the bottom right, and his guy gets the pass, and they're doing, passing from the wing down to the base and then up to the middle and quick Landeskog goal. And Middleton's going down to like lay on his stomach and block the pass, where had he just maybe stuck his stick out, he probably could have deflected that thing. But the process of going down to lay on the ice ended up, the puck just went right under him. Wide open net. Such liability. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I do anticipate a win at home the first game. The second game should be interesting. But let's see what happens. I'm really just praying for Eriksson, Ek, and Brodin to come back. Because if they do, I think we win the series. I really do. If they don't, I don't know. Hammer Guy Hughes got lit up a couple times. Can we talk about that too? The officiating in the playoffs. I know we've talked about this on other shows before. The refs can completely change the game based on the calls. And there's no consistency. Like one of the penalties we got in the third period, I think it was, I can't remember his name now, 13. Is it Trevin? Like, whatever, 13. He went to like block a puck or whatever, and his stick went up a little high, but it hit Kadri in the chest, like right here. And then Kadri like flopped like it hit him in the face, and he acted like he got shot in the face when it hit him in the chest. And they went to review, and it's like, yes, we're finally going to get an embellishment call. And we didn't get it. And they gave the 2-minute penalty against the Wild. I don't remember if they scored on that or not. A little bit later, Kaprizov was tied up with what's his name, number 8, Makar. And Makar raises his arms, which raises Kaprizov's arms and stick. And Kaprizov hits him in the helmet. I'll give him that. But then he's like pretending he got hit in the face too. And I think it's so gay. Like, you play hockey. Like, you don't need to pretend that you got hit in the face to get a penalty. And I'm so sick of it. Yeah, Kaprizov's penalty was BS too. See? Tommy's Russell, Minnesota shocked the Spurs. I just cannot get into pro basketball. Like the officiating ruined the game there. The flopping ruined it. The travels, they never call travel anymore. Like, what's the point of me teaching my 8-year-old son how, like, only get 2 steps, pivot foot, all those things? They very rarely call that. Sounds like a BB rant of excuses. I'm really not trying to make excuses. I'm just talking about the things that frustrated me last night. But after the first game and then switching goalies, I was not really truly expecting to win last night. Even though, yes, at times I did feel like we outplayed them a good chunk of the game. But anyway, Hammergate, Kadri is the Eric Swalwell of the NHL. Yeah. But we can talk about some other stuff. Whatever you guys really want to talk about, I guess. I do have a lot of headlines. We're almost close to peace. I think I saw HammerGuy35 in the chat say, congrats, we won the war again today. And yeah, it kind of seems like that. But let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll see where the show takes us. First up, we got some Benson Honey Farms. She was on Bannon the other day, which is pretty cool, talking about local action and whatnot. Welcome to Benson Honey Farms, where every jar is pure gold. Benson's Honey is excited to be back with Badlands Media for the honey harvest straight from their Nebraska farm. While they've been busy working to improve their state politics from the ground up, they never forgot the importance of sharing the best honey around. Did you know honey isn't just a sweet treat? It's nature's medicine, perfect for alleviating allergies, soothing upset stomachs, or as a delicious natural sweetener for baking. Benson Honey is never heated, ensuring you receive it in its pure raw form, full of natural goodness. Benson Honey Farms quality and purity is top priority, and they're committed to providing the finest honey from hive to home. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/honey and use promo code Badlands for 20% off of your purchase. And Benson Honey Farms, you can savor the authentic taste of Nebraska and support this America First business. Be sure to follow them on Facebook at Benson Honey Farms and also on TikTok at Mo Benson Honey Please. And also be sure to catch up with Mo on the first episode of America First Stories right here on Badlands Media. 12 Indie Boy says, if you did a stream with Ash during the game, you would have to get Zach to commentate. Yeah, that would be. I'm trying to imagine how that would go. Like, because you can stream yourself watching the game, but you can't put the game on the stream, like copyright stuff. So yeah, I don't know how we would be able to pull that off. We could like maybe have the game, listen to the game in the background. I don't know. I don't know if I'm serious about doing it because I like to yell and scream. I guess not scream, but I do like to like yell and curse a lot during the games. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm kicking around the idea. I haven't talked to Ash about it at all, so I don't know if she's on board, although I'm sure she would be. We also got Pet Club 247. Let's play this ad real quick.
Science proves that a healthy immune system is the body's first defense against the smallest of ailments to the most catastrophic. Coriolus versicolor is the most sought-after, all-natural supplement for both humans and pets to help boost the immune system. There are over 400 studies worldwide on its effectiveness in humans, including Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and now from the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. Together, we can help reverse this terrible tide now plaguing your loved ones and give them the immune-boosting supplements that they need.
Badlandsmedia.tv/pet club. I tell you what, I had them on America First Stories a couple of weeks ago, and great people. But when they were telling the story about the product, I immediately went and bought it. I actually have it here. Started taking this along with my Mushroom Vibe every morning. So check it out, guys. Badlandsmedia.tv/pet club. What else can we get into? Mr. Rise of Tire says, for some weird reason, every time I hear this ad and he says Coriolus or whatever it is, I have to say it out loud. Yeah, it's Coriolus versicolor. That's what the words are on here. If it'll ever zoom into that. Spent the whole show trying to get this in focus. There we go. Coriolus versicolor. Destine says, what the F? Gas is $4.50 for cheap shit in Florida, $125.12 for a fill. What are you filling up? So like a camper? Medbedsco says, our house uses the Pet Club products. They are legit. Scheisler, I have Pet Club products and love them. We're trying to get a hold of them to help with my grand dog, and they are hard to get a hold of. Hey, Scheisler, shoot me a message or something, and I could probably help you out getting in touch with them. Frederick Leathers, top DOJ officials predict Supreme Court will declare AR-15 rifles legal everywhere in America. I do have that story up, so we'll get to that. Yeah, let's start plugging away. See what happens. Doge, no update on the website. Silver, last I saw, was up quite a bit. Yeah, there we go. $77.75 for silver. Gold is at $4,700. Bitcoin is currently at 81.6. So riding high. It was up to 82 earlier this morning. Make sure you're getting those weekly purchases in. No update on the White House website. Probably one of the bigger stories, not election related or war related, is this one. We had a big raid this morning in Virginia. FBI raids Virginia lawmaker's office in corruption marijuana probe. I think that's a real smile. She looks a little... That doesn't look like a smile. It just looks like she's showing somebody her teeth. You know what I mean? There is a difference. The FBI has raided the office of a prominent Virginia Democratic lawmaker and ally of Governor Abigail Spanberger as part of a federal corruption investigation and alleged illegal marijuana sales. State Senator L. Luis Lucas, a longtime Virginia legislator and influential political figure who campaigned for Spanberger during her 2025 run, is now at the center of the probe. Agents executed court-authorized search warrants Wednesday at Lucas' Portsmouth office. Federal agents also searched a cannabis dispensary believed to be connected to her as part of the ongoing investigation. I'm curious, do you guys think it should be illegal to sell something you can grow in the ground? Whether or not you approve of the side effects or whatever, I know people don't believe in smoking. I'm not a big fan of it. I've done it before, though. Like, I've, went to college. But I personally don't think that if something can grow in the ground, that it should be illegal to sell. Just my opinion on it. I know not everybody agrees with that, but that's fine. Spetzel says, what's going on here? Talking about the benefits of no state income tax. What are we talking about? Oh, I have to catch up. I don't know what Spetzel. Oh, here. Spetzel says Florida has surprisingly high state gas taxes. They're top 15 highest. And Ty says benefits of no state income tax. And then Spetzel says Texas has no state income tax and half the Florida rate on gas. We have higher property taxes, though. Yeah. Taxes are gay. Edgar Friendly, I'm planting me a gun tree. What's up, Lee Walden? Good to see ya. Frederick Leathers, like opium? I suppose there's an argument to be made. I've never smoked opium. I don't know. I think the more dangerous drug these days is probably hopium. But that's just me. You don't grow that on trees, though. Miss Watley is late for housework. I'll allow it. Oh, yeah, I did see the story yesterday, supposedly, that the FBI or Kash Patel has confirmed the UFO files have been delivered to Congress. They're coming. And then there's a whole bunch of shills talking about how pastors are being told that, like, to prepare your people, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, here's what I think Kash said on Hannity.
The idea that there would be life on other planets that may be visited here that would not at all shock or surprise me. Have you ever looked into it?
We're looking at it. Here's the thing. Again,
okay, I want all the details.
Here's the thing. Every other president before President Trump could have said, hey, let's look at that and get the American people the information. What did he do? He stood up an interagency process with Department of War leading that effort to get out the documentation related to everything that you're talking about, not just from the FBI, from the IC and everywhere else. And so what do? We already delivered our first tranche of information to that committee, and they're going to be publicly releasing this information very soon. We are all for it. There's nothing in this subject that we're talking about that we don't want released. Our job at the FBI is to work with the White House and DOW, give them the information, and then they're going to put that out in a methodical process. And you're going to start seeing those releases literally happening in the very near future. We just met on it.
Literally happening in the very near future. What do you think we're going to learn from these releases? By the way, great dad joke from Ghost. He said, where was it? John, you're missing out. I've heard opium is pretty dope. Classic. Good to see you, Ghost. I should have you on the show again soon to discuss once the peace deal is finalized or whatever, and I don't know, everything's all done over there. We should have you come on and explain it to us like we're five and that we care. Anyway, what do you guys expect to find or to get in the UFO release? Do you think it's going to be legit or bullshit? Do you think it's a distraction? Why haven't they released all this before? Like, why now? Like, I don't know. I'm skeptical. This is the psyop going on right now. A lot of the pastors are being told to prepare.
I had a friend that sent me a text message. I had a friend who sent me a text message. Why does he sound like that? Meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
What? Why do they say Southerners say ho what? It's like they have the they spell what wrong. Instead of putting the W first, they put the H first. Ho what? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to take away from this, but I obviously feel like there's going to be a whole lot of bullshit going around when this happens. That particular, community, the UFO space community. Like I've nothing bad to say. Actually, a lot of the people that I know from that community are like solid people. Jordan like came out of that community, right? But they've been like this is their moment to shine, and it's just the unfortunate reality that there's a lot of people kind of from that little corner of the universe who, how do I say this politely? I don't want to necessarily say they're grifters, although there's some elements to that. There's some elements to that in every community, though. Like batshit crazy, some of them. I don't know, but this is going to be their moment to shine. And so, we're going to be going to, like, who are we going to be turning to go through these documents and break it all down for us? It's just going to be, and obviously you guys are going to turn to me because that's my job. But it'll be interesting. I'm not expecting anything legit. Probably nothing we really already knew, but there's going to be a whole lot of breaking news brigade clickbait flying around about confirmation of aliens and all that stuff. It's just it's one of those psyops that are like all the elites and intelligence communities and militaries from all over the world, all on the same page about the alien topic. Like, how has there not been a single country somewhere, anywhere, who's been like, oh yeah, there's aliens here. Here you go. This is what we got on it. Literally every government is keeping that a secret from their people. It just seems like a lot. I don't know. It could be demons, though. I've seen that argument going around. We don't know. Yeah, Hammer Guy 35, Simon Parks, and Charlie Ward are gonna blow up. Metaphorically, they're super excited about the aliens. RT Jones, so many more important stuff to deal with, and this is just a distraction. Yeah, and that's an interesting side of this too. I mean, we have. I would argue right now, and this is like my personal experience over the past couple months. The burnout rate in terms of like people looking for information and trying to figure out what's going on, the burnout rate in the Great Awakening is at an all-time high. I think people are kind of just sick of the noise. I even have like influencers who are burning out, but some of them they can't. They have to keep going because this is this is how they make their livelihoods. And so, is the alien stuff to bring them back, or is it to distract people further? I don't know. Sue Castellano 112. Why can't we go to Antarctica? Have you tried? Because I hear people can take cruises to Antarctica, so I don't know. What about Savannah Guthrie's mom? We can't forget about her. That's so true. What happened to her? Besides, she was probably murdered and buried in the desert. But my condolences. I don't mean to be insensitive. It's just probably what happened. Ty says, I'm ready to see members of Congress take their masks off and show their lizard faces. St. Pete, John, obviously you haven't received a UFO binder yet. I would turn down that binder. It's such a gay way of gatekeeping, especially because remember the Bindergate stuff from the Epstein files. Every one of those people had an embargo on information for a certain period of time. So they accepted the information full well knowing that they couldn't talk about anything they received, even though it was all bullshit information. Like it was all information we already knew. And they ate it up. They ate that shit up. The gatekeepers. Any pastor that doesn't put Jesus first is not of God. I would agree with that. Medbeds Co. Personally, I would not stand within 50 feet of Joel Osteen. The lighting is going to happen eventually. The lightning. Any president that does not put America first is not of the people. You can say that to about any elected representative. Go. They held the alien stuff until we were/are on the breaking point of burnout, so we'll be easier to manipulate than even during COVID. I also think like the alien stuff is almost played out in a weird way. Like when the alien disclosure congressional panels were going on, what was that, like a year ago? It just seemed like people didn't care as much about that anymore. Had they done that in 2016? Would have been the talk of the town. I don't know if it's there's the same amount of hype around it now. maybe, I mean, this is just all my perspective. I have no idea. I'm probably wrong about my take on this. Maybe we're going to get like definitive proof of the little green men and all that stuff and the moon bases and everything you guys have ever dreamed of when it comes to aliens. And then I don't know. I guess I'll apologize if that's true. I'll apologize to anybody I offended by not being excited about the alien disclosure. Fat Chan says, I believe the quote goes something like this: my father's house has many mansions. It's ridiculous. According to the Star Trek narrative, we do not get to play with the aliens until we have a hyperdrive. Elon is working on it with Trump dollars, maybe by 2028. Mr. Iman 1968 says, what a way to pull us away from God when Donald J. Trump wants to rededicate the nation to him. April Ann, it's been a steady diet of nothing burgers for so long. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah, I would say there's been a steady diet of nothing burgers in terms of the big stuff. Obviously, there's been some actuals and some good things along the way. But let's talk about this. Last night, we had, where's the, I gotta find my tab. Here we go. Most Trump-backed challengers beat Indiana incumbents who bucked Trump. President Trump endorsed primary opponents against 7 Republican lawmakers who opposed his redistricting push. At least 5 of the Trump-backed candidates have won their races. President Trump promised political payback last year when Indiana state senators from his own party voted down his plan to redraw the state's congressional map to help Republicans. On Tuesday, he got much of what he wanted, as at least 5 of the 7 anti-redistricting Republicans facing Trump-backed challengers lost their primaries, according to the Associated Press. The results reflected Mr. Trump's continuing sway over Republican voters and his ability to enforce political consequences for Republican office holders who defy him. In the other races, at least one incumbent won his primary and another race remained too close to call. State legislative primaries are often low-drama affairs, but Mr. Trump's involvement brought unusual levels of attention and outside spending. The president issued social media endorsements to the 7 challengers and hosted some of them at the White House, while outside groups aligned with Mr. Trump poured money into the races. And I just think it's interesting. I know Chris has talked about this before, about what does it mean to make endorsements when the elections are fraudulent. And just thinking of how Trump operates and how he talks about elections, like just yesterday or the day before, I'm trying to scroll back through his Truth Social. There's a lot of posts here. I'm trying to find the post he just had about the rigged elections. So bear with me here. Vivek, what a douche. Hold for processing. I'm going to find it because this is important. I'm trying to make an important point here. I want to make sure I get the right quote. Man, he posts a lot. Love how he just posts people saying nice things about him. Is this one? This might be one of them. I thought there was a better one. Here we go. This is one. We cannot allow there to be an election that is conducted unconstitutionally simply for the convenience of state legislatures. They have to vote twice, so be it. We should demand the state legislatures do what the Supreme Court says must be done. That is more important than administrative convenience. The byproduct is that Republicans will win more than 20 House seats. So again, can't allow there to be elections conducted unconstitutionally. Oh, wait, that's not the one. I was going to show another one, but it wasn't the right one. Oh, gosh, if I have to scroll back through all this again. There was just one the other day about the rigged elections. Here's one. I mean, this will work, I guess. Voter integrity. The same group of human garbage rigged the 2020 election. Totally dishonest. They're going to do it again. We need to terminate the filibuster, all these things. He talks about the rigged elections all the time. And so with that being the case, when Trump endorses somebody, is he the one that is catalyzing their victory? Or does he know what results are like kind of essentially baked in, caked in, and attaching his name to it to get credit for it? And you look at a guy like Lindsey Graham, like, why the hell would Trump endorse Lindsey Graham? That guy sucks balls. Well, is he just the caked in result? Is he going to win no matter what? Because of the fraudulent elections, and until we fix those, that's the case. So I think it's interesting. And I did a post on Twitter. Oh, no, what's his name? Oh, man. Sorry, my audio was like playing in the background. I couldn't find where it was from. But I posted this yesterday just to kind of gauge reaction. Is 26 winning endorsements good? And like I have a list of all the people he endorsed. Again, not all of these people I'm fans of. Most of them I don't know. Vivek, I think, is a snake. I've never liked that guy. Jim Jordan is like the only other person on here I know. So maybe you guys are from Indiana or Ohio. Maybe you know these people, and some of them are great, legit elected representatives. It's hard for me to believe that about anybody. But anyway, one response here. Yeah, Isaac. Not when you already know who's been selected. And I think that speaks at final demand. That's who's typically in the chats here. So good to see if you're in the chat. I haven't checked yet. But that's spot on. When the elections are fraudulent and rigged, and you nominate somebody, or, I endorse somebody, and they go on to win, what does that tell you about the elections? And I think this is an interesting discussion. I mean, yes, this can be spun as great news. And it's just funny to me to see like the competing headlines here. Come on, my browser froze again. Come on, here we go. So most Trump-backed challengers beat Indiana incumbents. That's like one headline. And then we have another headline from yesterday, charting how Trump became a historically unpopular president. So it's one of the benefits of Trump, even though the elections are rigged, and maybe they're not as rigged at the primaries. I personally think they're more rigged at the primaries, but him attaching his name to some of these candidates that go on to win, what's reality? Is the chart, this chart here, how Trump is down to a 35% approval rating May 1st, allegedly, or all of his candidates in these two primary elections winning? I don't know. Sorry, I have a lot to catch up on. Spetzel, a couple Badlands hosts are kind of clueless about how elections and election fraud work. They don't do nuance. Did I say an 8-syllable word? I don't believe you. Kelly, and good to see you. Frederick Leathers, I love how people here keep saying elections are fake and then go on and talk about elections like they aren't fake. Yeah. I mean, that happens everywhere. Most people don't talk about elections being fraudulent or fake. But no, I totally believe they are 100% fraudulent. You cannot garner legitimate results from our election system as it is. So Trump is continuing to go through the motions. I'm once again on the election rug, right? Like, I want him to fix the election system so we don't have to go through this again. But as it stands now, it appears like we're on track to go through it again. I hope he cancels them or something. But I don't know, maybe we need the disclosure first. Daisy Slowpoke, Vivek is not a great choice. If people can just try to think for themselves, that would be wonderful. I would agree with that. Would agree with that 100%. Rebel Nader, the reason aliens have been kept secret this long is simply religion. That's a good comment. Lavarts says, hey, Badlanders, checking in while viewing on TV. Have a great day. By the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and also view it over on YouTube, go hit that thumbs up over there. Post the link in the chat for you. The Q Awakening, 401c3 churches were created to capture what should have been the most based, first principle, natural law-abiding populace pastors used to muster congregations for the War of Independence. How far we've fallen. Yeah, it's hard for me, the whole religion stuff, because I grew up Catholic. My kids go to Catholic school. My dad works at a Catholic. I used to fundraise for the Catholic school system. At one point, when I was going through Catholic school, we had this class. I was in 8th grade. No. What grade was I in? It would have been high school, because it's high school. In high school, you have one like religion class that you take, and one of them is that it was called Mere Christianity, and we read through C.S. Lewis's book, and it was taught by a priest, and he's a super cool dude. And he had, like, everybody in the school at one point consider being a priest, like, just because of this guy he was so relatable. He would like curse and swear and like drink, and like he was just like a normal dude who happened to dedicate his life to Jesus. And so everybody was like, I can relate to this. I want that too. And so I was there at one point thinking of wanting to be a priest. Obviously, I don't feel that way this way. And after working for the church, in a sense, fundraising for the Catholic school system, and seeing how the and I've said this before, this is not new information, but seeing how the church side, like the diocese here that we were supposed to be working with to fundraise for the Catholic education of Bismarck, North Dakota, how they I don't know, just the selfishness, the greed that I witnessed, some betrayals, I would even say, it really turned me off for the institution of the church. It's just unfortunate, but that's what happens when man gets involved in anything. It's corrupted, especially a big institution like that. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know why I decided to get into that topic. Did I miss a moment of silence for Ted Turner's death? You did not. Let's we should probably do that. Let me find the post from Trump. Here we go. Come on. Did my browser freeze again? Oh, okay, we're good. Ted Turner, one of the greats of all time, just died. He founded CNN, sold it, and was personally devastated by the deal because the new ownership took CNN, his baby, and destroyed it. It became woke and everything that he is not all about. Maybe the new buyers, wonderful people, will be able to bring it back to its former credibility and glory. Regardless, however, one of the greats of broadcast history and a friend of mine, whenever I needed him, he was there, always willing to fight for a good cause. So maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe that's why Trump continues to give interviews to the fake news media. Man, I'm way behind in the chat. EC was here, says, good to see you, by the way. I still randomly think about the stolen bread. Is that what it was? Just randomly, like I'll be sitting here. Maybe it's because I do the intermittent fasting and I don't eat till supper. Typically, sometimes I do, but I'll just be sitting here hungry and I'll randomly think of your stolen bread that you gave me in Deadwood last year. So good to see you're still tuning in, man. Turns out that it was a good thing to be a Protestant in a Catholic school. Medbeds Co. shared on YouTube and Facebook, my Grandolph persona. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Ted Turner was a kid eater. He passed for lack of a crone. Polymath, love Jesus, not the establishment of man's wicked ways. We're not perfect, hence needing Jesus. Totally agree with that. And that's what, like, I'm disappointed in the institution of the Catholic Church. I have my own personal relationship with Jesus. I still go to mass with my kids. They go to Catholic schools. I think it's important. Like I very much value the education I got from the Catholic school system in Bismarck. And I want my kids to have the same thing. Because I mean, look how awesome I turned out. I want them to turn out awesome too. But yeah, the church has been corrupted. That is for sure. Trump gives interviews to fake news because he misses doing The Apprentice. Man does love the camera. Supper? Is that not what you guys call it? Do we have to have that debate? EC was here, so you want another? Hey, if you're coming to Deadwood, you got to bring that with. I would definitely take another. Pop for soda, sack for bag, supper for dinner. Sucker for lollipop. All the good old movies are on the Legacy Turner Network. Ted bought a bunch of media IP in his day. I hear John was born with a 5 o'clock shadow. No. I did get a haircut, though, which is what I kept a long beard just for the sake of this haircut because I like how they faded in, to the beard, too. Okay, what else can we talk about? I know I had more stuff. Oh, yeah, here's the latest update on the Iran war. White House signals progress toward interim Iran deal. The White House is nearing a one-page memorandum of understanding with Iran to end the war and launch broad nuclear talks, with U.S. officials expecting response from Tehran within 48 hours and calling this the closest point to a breakthrough so far. The framework includes a temporary halt to Iran's nuclear enrichment. The temporary part of that, if true, again, this could all be bullshit because we've been on the verge of a breakthrough a few times now, and none of them ended up being the breakthrough moment. But this seems like a non-starter, we're told, for both sides. Like, this has been the crux of it, right? Trump's like, they can never have a nuclear weapon. And Iran's like, we can do whatever the hell we want when it comes to our nuclear weapons or nuclear enrichment. So a temporary halt is, I don't know, I mean, I guess it obviously seems like the common ground. Like, we're not totally giving it up, says Iran. We'll just temporarily do it. And the United States is like, yeah, you're going to have to give that up eventually. This temporary one is a good start. Anyway, face sanctions relief, release of frozen funds, and easing restrictions in the Strait of Hormuz with key provisions tied to a final agreement and the risk of renewed conflict if talks collapse. Negotiated by envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the draft would open a 30-day negotiating window with gradual rollback of shipping restrictions and the U.S. blockade. Disputes remain over enrichment limits, enforcement, and inspections, alongside provisions requiring Iran to forego nuclear weapons and accept expanded monitoring. On Tuesday evening, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. U.S. officials said China is being looked to for pressure on Tehran regarding the strait. President Trump also announced a temporary pause on Project Freedom as negotiations approach a potential final agreement. Which one is Operation Project Freedom? Is that the one where they guide the ships through the strait? I'm pretty sure that's the one. But we did get news. I don't know if it's legit, but let me show you this on Twitter. Once my browser unfreezes. Come on. There we go. Navy lookout. Ghost shared this in our private chat. Don't know if it's legit again, but I'm going to share it anyway. Allegedly, the USS Gerald Ford is heading west through the Strait of Gibraltar today, finally on her way home after an epic deployment. Currently 316 days since she left the U.S. And that is reportedly coming from, man, I don't know. These accounts are so small, I don't know if they're legit. But yeah, Ghost says this is kind of like hints of, maybe they're pulling out. U.S. might be pulling out. Trump's pullout game strong, y'all. What else? Okay, so this is what somebody in the chat said earlier. Top DOJ official predicts Supreme Court will declare AR-15 rifles legal everywhere in America. She says, I think there's going to be a ruling eventually from the Supreme Court that AR-15s are legal for all law-abiding citizens to own and operate. I would be on board with that. Let me find a good quote here. I thought there was one in here. The Constitution is not a suggestion, and the Second Amendment is not a second-class right. Denver's ban on commonly owned semi-automatic rifles directly violates the right to bear arms. This Department of Justice will vigorously defend the liberties of law-abiding citizens, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said in praising the legal strike. So good shit. Hammer Guy 35, they are 2 weeks away from a nuke. Please save us. Scott Galt, I read where Gerald Ford was headed home for repairs. That might be it. I don't know. I just get my fake news from ghosts sometimes when it comes to the Iran stuff. Adam Carpenter, John, you should check out The Religious Business. Is that a movie or a book or something? How do I go about checking that out? Let me look it up. It appears to be a 7-part documentary series about transparency, oversight, excuse me, and financial ethical issues in religious and nonprofit institutions. Maybe I will check that out. Fixed bayonet, again, the Second Amendment already did that. Yeah. A lot of what we see these days is, yes, the Constitution already did something, already gave us that right. And it's like we have to go through some of these motions to like reaffirm those things because of how warped things have gotten. Just Coke, I got a personal news headline. My 7-year-old harvested his first gobbler today. 9-inch beard, 25-yard shot. He's been smiling since 6:45 a.m. That's awesome. Congrats to your 7-year-old, Jess Coke. Cian Stewart says, I resonate with Iran. I've been a couple weeks away from going nuclear for a long time. That's pretty funny. Okay, well, let's keep going. Already did that. Oil pulled back after hitting a 2026 high on day one of Trump's plan to unblock Hormuz. Guess I don't have the access to read that one in full, so I'm not going to do it. It's fake news, gay. I thought this was funny. I haven't even gotten into it, but I think we're going to probably talk about this a little bit tonight on the Power Hour. So I'd encourage you guys to tune in. But Trump's Ukraine policy is succeeding while his Iran policy flails. One of the many ironies of Donald Trump's war against Iran is that only a year ago, most of the president's critics assumed that any second-term crisis for the American empire would be caused not by reckless war-making, by appeasement and retreat. In particular, the Trumpian push for peace between Russia and Ukraine was cast as a great betrayal, craven, and sinister in equal measure that would yield disaster for Europe and disgrace for the United States. Yet today, as Trump struggles to find an exit strategy from his Middle Eastern war of choice, so gay how they call it that, but I guess it's kind of true. His administration's policy toward Ukraine looks like everything his Iran policy is not, an effective rebalancing for a multipolar world in which a major rival has been contained and weakened with a reduced American commitment, and our regional allies have actually substituted for our overstretched capacities rather than trying to force us to stretch too far on their behalf. Yeah, we will talk about this tonight. I'm going to share this with BB right now. All right, there you go. Let's see what else. Howard Lutnick is supposedly going to be questioned by Congress about his Epstein ties, keeping that psyop going as long as possible. Lilly has committed another $4.5 billion across Indiana manufacturing sites. Interesting, this news comes out right when the primary election stuff in Indiana took place, like the same day, the day after, I guess. This is what Trump posted earlier. Assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, so we just need them to agree with what they've agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption. The already legendary Epic Fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be, sadly, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. So they either agree or it's back to a dead civilization. Looking forward to the Twitter psyops when that goes down. Trump also posted this today, or this morning, the White House ballroom. Man, that was early too, 6:32 a.m. That was about the time Jess Koch's son was getting the gobbler. The White House ballroom is going up rapidly on the east side of the White House. The only reason the cost has changed is because after deep-rooted studies, it is approximately twice the size and a far higher quality than the original proposal, which would not have been adequate to handle the necessary events, meetings, and even future inaugurations. The original price was $200 million. The doubled size, highest quality completed project will be something less than $400 million. It will be magnificent, safe, and secure. This was a necessary change. It was done long ago, but the fake news failed to report it, trying to make it look like there was a cost overrun. Actually, it is coming ahead of schedule and under budget. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. I'm so confused. Like, do we even know that this ballroom is actually being built? And he's been the one talking, like he's the one who's been talking about the $200 million price tag. At no point did he talk about it being double in size until now. So the whole thing is so weird. Because we didn't have a ballroom at all before. And we didn't even realize how badly we needed one, we're told. And now we didn't even realize like how inadequate the first proposal of it was going to be. Now it needs to be even double the size and all those things. But it's probably all because of whatever's going underneath it. Has anybody seen the blueprints for this ballroom yet? They're probably not out there. National security stuff, whatever. China is hurting, says Artsy Joan. The key awakening, the greatest president of his sides. Yeah, he's got that weaved down. Blow, Gabriel Blow. So tired of government cronies interfering with my rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Fight me. Let's go. Kickbacks ain't going to pay themselves. It's going to be magnificent. As long as Congress isn't paying for it, I do not give a shit. If I'm being totally honest. I don't think that. I got that. Already got that. Yeah, guys, we are done. We got through all the headlines today. It's awesome. Let's get a quick soft disclosure ad in. So you guys got to get your Mother's Day soft disclosure. And this is a new one. There's a gift card part of this. So check it out.
Last winter, the world met Madame Margie, the moistureless. But while Badlandia banded together at Gart, she evolved. While deep in her lair, she uncovered 4 sacred instruments of hydration. The lip balm, the lotion, the tallow bar, and the new stainless steel gua sha. Together, they wage war. Flaking has fallen, roughness retreats, dryness trembles, and among the rebels, Mother's good boy. But elsewhere in Badlandia, rebellion grows, the beards remain.
Shave them all off.
Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Mama's Boy for 20% off your Mother's Day bundle. Can't choose the right sacred instruments for your mother? Offer them all with an e-gift card. For softness, for victory, for moms.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA.
Give them a gift card. They can choose which products they want themselves. Softdisclosure.com. Real quick, we're also going to do an ad for the Kids Guide. If I can get this pulled up. All right, parents, real talk for a second. America is about to hit a huge milestone. We're coming up on America's 250th birthday. 250 years of freedom, grit, sacrifice, and the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever seen. This is the perfect moment to help your kids understand why this country matters, not just fireworks and hot dogs, but the story that's behind it all. There's a free guide, called The Kids Guide to America's 250th birthday. And it's honestly a great way to introduce kids to how America began, who the founding fathers were, what they risked, and why the ideas they fought for still matter today. This Kids Guide sends kids back to the moment when brave men signed the Declaration of Independence, knowing full well they were risking their lives for freedom. It breaks it all down in a way kids can actually understand and enjoy without watering it down or turning it into boring schoolwork. If you care about raising kids who know where this country came from and why it's worth preserving, this is something you'll want to grab today. And the best part is it's completely free with this special offer. All you got to do is pay the $2 for shipping and handling. Just head over to freeusabirthday.com. Again, that's freeusabirthday.com. And the Kids Guide to America's 250th birthday for your kids can be yours today. America's story matters. Make sure the next generation knows it. And all right. Did you guys do your part and hit the thumbs up on all the channels? That'd be greatly appreciated. Hammer Guy 35 says, could possibly be the best show ever on Wednesdays. We'll see. I do have one more show later today. Could be better than this one, but it's definitely the best one I've done so far. PJ, you are way late today, man. That is inexcusable. My Fixed Bait says, John, your mom said she disagrees with Margie. We need a battle of the moms. It would take a lot to get me to shave my beard, like often, and keep it like shaved, you know? When I do the mustache, I do shave it down, obviously, afterwards to even it out, but other than that, I just can't do it. Cannot do it. But yeah, guys, unless there's anything urgent that you want me to discuss, I think I'm gonna get you guys out of here. Is there anybody on after me? Looks like there is a military Mother's Day event. That's happening. Oh, that already happened. Okay. Let's see if there's anything. Space Revolution coming up at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern. Shipwreck Show at 8 p.m. Eastern. Maha Living at 6 p.m. Yeah, so it goes Space Revolution, Maha Living, Shipwreck Show, and then Power Hour tonight. So, yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up, and I will see you next time I see you guys. Have a great rest of your day. See you tonight.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me?